Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances, featuring exclusive buyer speed figures and expert analysis and selections. Go to DRF.com/best and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand. Hi, everybody. Dan Oldman, Mike Beer. The DRF race of the day for Friday, July the 3rd is race number 9. Let's take a look at the field for the license fee stakes. $80,000 is the purse. Fillies and mares going 3/4 of a mile on the inner turf. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the race of the day event page at DRF.com. Access them, handicap along with us. A very competitive group, Mike. 8-horse field, 5-2 morning line. The outside, Dalika, who's going to hope for some pace up front.
Yeah, I mean, they cut her back for the first time in her most recent start off the left. She looked really good winning that race, but you're right. She's probably going to need a little pace in this race.
The 6, the 7, they both have speed. We take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. Perhaps the most interesting pace entrant is the horse trying turf for the first time, the number 1 Bridlewood Cat. And if she breaks like she did last time, she's not making the lead in this race because it was a terrible beginning for her in the correction stakes. She came with a wide looping run. I thought she ran very well. She has a nice pedigree. It's just not really geared towards turf. I wish there was more turf in this pedigree.
That was my concern with her too. I just didn't really see a lot of grass. Her dirt form was fine, especially early on. Dan, she looked really promising. For whatever reason, she did not run well in January, and then last time in the correction, maybe she was best in there after a really bad start. But it's worth noting that pace totally fell apart, and Closers had all the best of it in there as well. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about her, and I didn't see enough turf pedigree to really want to take her in here.
I think trainer Michael Trombetta has to be very pleased with this return effort from the number 2, A Great Time. This is her first race in 10 months. She showed good early speed. She battles hard all the way down to the wire. As a prep and a tightener, I think she got a lot out of this race. The question is she good enough? She is stepping up to face some really sharp horses, and she just couldn't parlay a perfect trip into a win 2 starts back against fellow Maryland breds.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all that stuff. She was in pretty good form, last year for a couple of starts, and then she missed a lot of time. She ran fine off the layoff, Dan, but they're shipping her into a very tough spot here.
Get Mother O' Rose can easily win this race. She won the Grade 3 Honey Fox 3 starts back at Gulfstream. That underlines her quality. She was a very good turf sprinter last year here in New York. So you don't worry too much about her cutting all the way back to 3/4 of a mile. And her last race is just an absolute throwout, over yielding going against Grade 1 winner, newspaper of record.
Right. I mean, I don't have much to add to that other than that I'm using this horse, and we'll see what kind of price she is. She got really good last year, 3 wins in a row over this turf course on the inner turf here at Belmont Park at this distance. Another win and an impressive one at Aqueduct to close out that 3-year-old campaign. And she's a Grade 3 winner now. There's just tons to like about this horse.
I'll Handle the Cash, another horse going second start of the form cycle up from Churchill Downs, where she faced 2 next out winners in her most recent race. The 6th place finisher coming back to win a 62.5 optional claimer with an 86 buyer. She got into late trouble 2 starts back, although I thought she was beaten when the trouble occurred. She's the kind of filly that has a little bit of tactical speed, but I think she would appreciate some pace up front. I think she'll be near the rear of the field under Jose Ortiz.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of trip she gets. She's pretty tactical. I like all of her turf sprint races. I thought she ran well basically every single time last year, even though she only won twice. The Captiva Island, I agree with you, was just sort of an odd trip for her. After she didn't break that great, I don't know, she looked a little bit of unfocused or something in the stretch and didn't run her best race last time. I don't know, Dan, I thought she was going to win that race, and she got into a lot of trouble inside the 8th pole, and I think it really cost her.
No, it really cost her. She was actually placed 3rd via disqualification in that race. She's lightly raced. From a buyer standpoint, she has to improve, but there's no reason why she can't. This is only start number 9. The 5 Super Escape comes out of a 2-turn race at Woodbine, and she was run down by a nice horse. We'll take a look at that race right now. She got a really nice ride by Luis Contreras. She just walked the dog on the lead, almost a 24-second first quarter, 47-1 for the half. Another time who ran her down, well, she came back and ran second in the Grade 2 Nassau last week with an 87 buyer. Super Escape is in very good form, Mike. That was a nice run for her first start in about 5.5 months. The issue is distance. This might be a little sharp for her.
Yeah, the turn back feels like it could be an issue for her, and especially then when you're turning back into a field like this. I mean, it's not like she's turning back in a soft spot. This is a pretty strong field.
Multiple stakes placed Escapade is up next. Fifth last time out in the Lightning City Stakes. That race at Tampa Bay is usually a salty affair for the fillies and mares, and already this year it's produced 3 next out winners. Gina Elizabeth came back to win the Grade 3 Whimsical up at Woodbine on the Tapeta with a 90 buyer. This filly has earned some big figures. She's got speed. She's going to be right in the thick of things turning into the stretch. Boy, I thought she got in a little bit tight last time out in the Lightning City after prompting that early pace. She's a major player in this spot.
Yeah, I agree with that. She's not that hard to make a valid case for in this race. She won 4 of her first 5 starts after Jonathan Thomas took over. Came really close to Gina Elizabeth two back in a fast race. I know that was a dirt race, but she came close to beating that horse. It wasn't as close last time, but it does almost feel like, as tough as this field is, she might be getting a little bit of class relief here.
Miss Oramet's been in good form. We're now going to find out if she's this good. She's won her last 3 races, last time on the dirt, but we'll go back to the race 2 starts back. In against open non-winners of one other, than not a strong field, and Miss Oramet was able to control the pace up front. I like the way she disposed of this field in the stretch, very easily drawing away under hands and heels urging. She has competitive buyer speed figures. She's going to be close to the pace. She's just never faced this caliber of competition before. I think if she stays around that 6-1, that's fair. I wouldn't go much less as she steps up in class.
Yeah, it's a big step up in class, but she's gotten really, really good, especially I think since the blinkers have gone on recently. I like all 3 of her last races quite a bit, Dan. I mean, I've been really impressed with the way she's finished those races off. I guess the biggest question that I have about her right now is, the 5 furlong to the 6 furlong stretch out, that's a pretty big one, especially when you're stepping up in class like this. So that concerned me about her. Nothing else concerns me about her. I really like her form.
Delica was always a success last year for Al Stahl. She was Grade 2 stakes placed to Churchill Downs going 8.5. Well, they cut her all the way back last time out for her seasonal debut, and they had to be pleased as punch. They got a little bit of pace, not a ton. She came with a good run. The runner-up mentality came back to really get an easy lead in winning the Hessenite Stakes with an 88 buyer against fellow New York bred. So she ran down a nice horse. She's in good form. She classes up well, and it's all about whether she gets pace. I like the 6 for her. I think Delica is going to be charging in the stretch, and she's probably the one to beat.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I really liked her return from the layoff last time sprinting. And, it's one of those races too, Dan, that, she just got behind horses early in that race and really could never improve her position until they got to the top of the stretch. And once she came clear, I mean, she came with a really strong finish in there. I think if she holds that form, she's going to be very tough to beat in here.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the $80,000 license fee stakes. Mike, you're going with a horse that had a little trouble last time out. Should be a nice price. Should get a fair pace to attack.
Yeah, all those things I like about this horse, hoping that we get about the morning line price on her. Again, I just like her form, and she probably got very, very unlucky last time. I'm not against the 3 either, Dan. I think she's a nice price on the morning line and can easily win this race.
You're going 4-3 in the license fee. I had a lot of trouble separating my top 3 picks. I'll use all of them in multiple race wagers. I wonder if Miss Oramet can handle this jump up in class. I know she'll be forwardly placed. I think you made a very good point, though. Stretching out to the 6 might be a big issue for her, but I like the way she's finished off her races. 4-3-8-7 for Mike. I'll give Miss Oramet a chance with the horses on the outside. And the license fee, approximate post time on Friday, 5:36 Eastern. Good luck.